ಹಲೋ ಗೈಸ್, ವೆಲ್ಕಮ್ ಟು ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಐಕ್ಯೂ. ಎಲ್ಲ ಕನ್ನಡಿಗರಿಗೆ ನನ್ನ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ಇವತ್ತು ನಾವು ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಒಂದು ಡಿಸ್ಕಷನ್ ಮಾಡೋಣ. ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ವೇವ್ ತುಂಬ ಭೀಷಣವಾಗಿದೆ. ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಿನಲ್ಲಿ ತುಂಬ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಕೇಸಸ್ ಬರ್ತಿದೆ. ಸೊ ಇವತ್ತು ನಾವು ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಡೀಟರ್ ಕಮಿಟೀಸ್ ಅಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಲಾಗಿದೆ, ಇದರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಒಂದು ಡಿಸ್ಕಷನ್ ಮಾಡೋಣ. ಅಗೇನ್, ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ಬಿ ಸೇಫ್, ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಸ್ಕ್, ಯೂಸ್ ಸ್ಯಾನಿಟೈಸರ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಮೇಂಟೈನ್ ಸೋಷಿಯಲ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸಿಂಗ್ to all the people. That's my message. And for the people who did not understand that it was a regional message, that we are going to discuss about a news from Karnataka. In Bengaluru, recently the state government has come up with a decision to appoint DETR committees. So in this particular discussion, we are going to talk about what exactly are these DETR committees, how is it going to help us in the fight against COVID-19 pandemic, and what has been the inspiration here. And if you're preparing for UPSC Civil Services examination, this becomes a very, very important case study for you. How a decentralized approach in fighting a pandemic can help, because there are success models. It has brought success in Maharashtra, especially in Mumbai, and following that particular thing, Bangalore has also gone for appointment of DETR committees. So let's get this information. What exactly is this decision? What are these DETR committees? How exactly they're going to work, and how they are going to bring efficiency in terms of fighting the COVID-19 pandemic. So let's begin our discussion. I am your friend Rahul Saigaonkar. You can follow me on the IDs that are mentioned here. Apart from that, if you are preparing for UPSC Civil Services examination, there is a golden opportunity for you to prepare from home safely with our smart course, which includes both prelims and mains. There is a lot of content from current affairs, essay writing. Just visit the details here, studyiq.com, or download the app from Google Play Store to know more about that. Right, let's begin our discussion and talk about the news. Now, we all know that a small area in Karnataka, that is Bangalore urban here, it carries a huge load of COVID-19 cases. You can see here, the details have been put here from April 25, right? Almost 20 days back data is provided here. And you see here that the city sees more than 1,000 deaths in April, right? The case load has been immense. If you look at the complete number of cases as on April 25, 3,42,000 cases in Karnataka, and out of that, approximately 65% of the cases are from Bangalore itself. Now, owing to these numbers, because Bangalore has huge population also, by 2011 census, Karnataka's population was approximately 6 crore, and about 1 crore it stays in Bangalore itself, in a very, very small area. So population density is huge. So it is quite expected that there would be a surge in cases. And in the second wave, there was a huge surge in cases in Bengaluru. Not just the COVID-19 infections, but the number of fatalities were also on the rise. So in lieu of this, the Karnataka state government, it decided to manage the pandemic at the local level. That is why I told you it's a great case study for you in terms of decentralization. So the state government, headed by B.S. Yediyurappa, they have decided that they're going to set up decentralized triage and emergency response committees, DETR committees, at the ward levels. Now, these DETR committees, they are going to be overseen by the Bangalore Municipal Corporation, that is the Brihat Bengaluru Mahanagara Palike, right? So we'll get the details about these DETR committees. But who has inspired Karnataka in bringing this particular decision? You can see here, Niti Aayog CEO, he hailed the Mumbai model. Now, this entire concept of DETR, it is based on the Mumbai model, where the cases are now going down. Mumbai model has been adopted in Bengaluru, where the DETR committees have been set up. Now, what exactly is this DETR committee? What is their job? How are they going to bring change in terms of fight against COVID-19? Let's try to understand that. The first of all, DETR basically stands for Decentralized Triage and Emergency Response. The government of Karnataka has decided that they are going to set up DETR committees across 198 wards in Bengaluru. Now, these DETR committees, in short, they're also called as Ward DETR committees, WDCs. In each ward, there would be 198 ward DETR committees, which are going to strengthen the government's response as well as management towards COVID-19 pandemic. Right? Now, this DETR committee, it is going to bring synergy between different areas. First of all, there would be Brihat Bengaluru Mahanagara Palike officials who will be involved. The ward committees, the local representatives would be involved. Government officers would be involved. People from resident welfare organization would be involved. People from NGOs, the civil society organizations, they will be involved. That means when I go to ward, say if I talk about ward number 1, then in this ward number 1, I am going to look at the BBMP officials from ward number 1. the government officers from ward number 1, the ward committee members from ward number 1, the resident welfare associations in ward number 1, and the other organizations in ward number 1. I'll bring all of them in one particular umbrella to have a local level fight against COVID-19. So how are they going to help? First of all, they are focusing on 3 E's. What 3 E's? First one is efficient admission. Now I'll talk about this efficient admission and efficient discharge in short time, meaning DETR committees are now going to be the first contact where they are going to look at the patient and they are going to see if that particular COVID infected patient, do they need hospitalization at all? If they don't need, home isolation would be suggested or hospital bed would be allocated, something like that. And then ultimately the final E is empowering the health management. That means reducing the load on hospital management and also empowering the health management. It comprises 3 E's of these ward DETR committees. Now, what exactly are they going to do? Let's try to understand in depth. Now, these DETR committees, they are going to be the first point of contact for any COVID-19 patient in that particular ward. Say I am a resident of ward number 1 in Bengaluru and I'm infected with COVID-19. So these DETR committees or the representatives from DETR committees, they are going to be a first point of contact. What they are going to do is they are going to provide me timely and accurate information about what should be the COVID appropriate behavior for the patient and all the other things in future. The most important aspect of this DETR committee is triaging. Now, what is the meaning of triaging? Triaging is basically setting out the priorities of treatment. What exactly or what would be the procedure of treatment that would be given to me, right? They are going to check if I need home isolation or I need to be hospitalized. Now, if I need to be hospitalized, where would I be hospitalized? Meaning, say if I am a patient with mild symptoms, home isolation may be suggested to me. If there are some severities, then a hospital bed would be suggested where probably you don't need oxygen. So there would be now color coding of these patients. Color coding meaning if a patient is with red code, they would be sent to a hospital where there is oxygen supply, where there is ventilator, where there are these emergency supplies. If the patient is showing some sort of moderate symptoms, then probably to some hospital where you do not need these facilities. You do not need extensive facilities, but you do need some sort of hospital care. Or else for very mild patients, home isolation would be suggested. Now, by doing this, what is going to happen? We are going to reduce the load on the entire hospital infrastructure of Bengaluru. Apart from this, the ward DETR committees, they would be responsible for contact tracing and testing as well. They are also responsible for ensuring that in their particular ward, all the resources, all the essential medicines and the vaccine, they are also responsible for vaccination. So all these things are available to them. In fact, it's a complete cycle, meaning from COVID-19 patient, where what kind of a treatment is needed, are they getting medicines or not, are they getting vaccines or not, and eventually in case of death, in case of fatalities, these ward committees will also be responsible for giving or connecting these families with the hearse vans and crematorium or the volunteers at the burial ground so that the burial is done with respect. So an entire cycle has been suggested here that at the ward level, these people would be responsible by contacting the COVID-19 patient first, by sending them to the hospital, by discharging them effectively, by going for contact tracing, by going for vaccination, and eventually, if in case of fatality, ultimately connecting the family with all the necessary requirements. So by this, they are going to bring efficiency in the system. And in fact, this has been quite successful, especially considering the Mumbai model in Maharashtra. Now, most important aspect of this is the role of civil society. This is being hailed. Again, only time is going to tell how these ward DETR committees in Karnataka are going to work out. Will they eventually help or not? But nonetheless, we need to understand that civil society involvement has been pretty immense here. The resident welfare organization, the civil society organizations, they have been entrusted with a responsibility to provide feedback, to provide changes to improve the entire decentralization process in these ward. These DETR committees, they are going to take inputs from the civil society, and all the civil society and all the NGOs in one particular ward, they are going to come under a single umbrella. This is the best aspect where a more coordinated effort might come. For instance, if in my ward, say if I'm staying in ward 1, if there are 3 NGOs, one is working towards, say, hospitalization of patients, one is working towards providing food to laborers, providing food to other people, and the other one is involved with documentation of these patients, then all the three from one ward would be brought under a single umbrella so that there is more and more coordinated effort, because of which ultimately the benefits reach the intended people. So let us see how these data committees will perform in each ward in Bengaluru. Will the numbers reduce? Will the second wave subside? This would become a very important case study. If any development comes over this, I will bring it to you very soon on Study IQ about the performance of these data committees also. That's it from my side on this part of discussion. Thank you for watching. Jai Hind.